Hello everybody, welcome back to another edition of the EcoStruxure Operator Terminal Expert training. I'm your host, Leandro Mal, and in this video what we're gonna see is how we can work with the trends or trace that we have in the software. So let's go to the software. So right now I'm working with the version 3.4. So it's been a while since I don't touch this part, so I want to try to make it work on the first time. So in order to make this trend or trace work, what we need are variables. Those variables can be from the PLC or internal of the HMI. In my case, to make it fast, I'm going to try to use only internal variables, but you can use variables that came from a PLC. So let's do this. All variables, I create just inter variable. It's going to be temp variable, temp room. It's gonna be my temperature of the room. It's my case, it's hypothetical. So now I have already created a variable that's gonna be trending. So what I need is to create a login group. So in the login group, the variable, the history of the variation of the variable is in one place located, and the trace can show it. So that's the idea. So before going to the trace, we just need to go over the login group. So in the login part, we just need to press here login group, and here we just define log temps in case I have different temperatures. So once you define the group of the name, we just need to define how often I'm going to record this information on the HMI. So what I'm going to do is to use periodic. Okay, and here in this case, you just need to define the frequency. I'm going to make another video for login and all the stuff. Now I'm going to focus more into the trace, how to make it work. So in particular case, I'm going to use periodic and the frequency in seconds. Then of course you have the export and where you want to export and everything, but that will be covered later. So something important here is the records. So because based on the records or the max amount of records we have, is the amount of data that we can show on the trace. So I have done this a long time ago. So this is, for example, if the frequency is 1 second and the days, okay, for example, we just want 1 day, we just need to put this number, okay, over here. Okay, so it gives us information of, we're gonna have the complete register of 1 day. Okay, so 8, 6. Otherwise, for example, you use 1 second and use 1, and use the max record is gonna be 1 and 100. Day is gonna be less than 1, so it's gonna cover just a little bit more than 1 minute. Okay, so that's why important to predefine this max record that we can have. Okay, so I want 5. You can see they changed this value. So if I put this here, for example, let's take a look on this. So I'm gonna put only 10. So you can see later the behavior I'm gonna have is gonna be the one that we want. Okay, so something to bear in mind when we program this part or configure this part. Okay, so I'm just gonna leave it in 10. I know it's not going to have the best behavior that we want, but that is something that we need to take care. Now we have already defined the variable, we have already defined the login group, but we didn't define the variable to be inside this login group. So here in the log add variable, we just select the variable that we want. So this will allow the variable to be recorded every 1 second in this particular case. Now that we have the variable, all we need is to use the offset for the trace. So I'm going to expand all this, And let's find the trend trace. I don't remember the name it has here. Trend graph. Okay, so trend graph. And put it over here. So I have the trend here. Go to functions. Here, one channel. Okay, group name. This group name is going to be the data logging. As you can see, I got the log temps, which is the one I have already defined over here, log temps. So it will know which is the variable that I'm going to use. Here in channels, we can see that we need to select the variable, and the variable here is going to be this one. That's why it's important that this variable is already in a group, otherwise this will not work. So here we have the possibility to use or configure the different colors. Here you can configure the colors. It's no major thing here. I would rather not spend too much time with this, but you can change it in case you want it. Okay, if you can add more channels, you can have it over there. You have the visibility, so you can assign a variable here in case you want to show, for example, you have different temperatures. Okay, so let's try to do that. Temperature room 1 and temperature 2. Why not number 3? Okay, and here you can find enable trend room 1. So you can have this in order to enable which trend to use. And here variable, let's just add temp room 2 and temp room 3. So once you have different variables here, what you can do is to go to the trace again, and here channels number 3 channels. Let's wait for this to finish. So channel 1, I got that one. Channel 2, it's going to use the temperature room 2. And here you can see there is a new color and there is a new line, sorry. And here you can use this color and the number 3. Number 3. Yes, I'm going to use a different color. For example, this. Okay. Now, each channel has their own properties, and in this case we can play with the visibility. So we can have an alarm, a variable, and I'm going to use this one for the channel 1, for the channel 2, and visibility, and here I'm going to add the variable trend 2. Just come out with all these. So as we go with this variable, so of course you have the possibility then to play with the visibility, how it's going to change. I'm not going to access to that part, not yet. So room 1, copy paste, 2, 3. It will probably be the other way around. We just need to check it or use a converter. Okay, but right now just focus on this, that you have possibility to enable or disable in case you want more or less trends. Okay, so add a text here, room 1, Ctrl C, Ctrl V. Of course, I always recommend to use grids in order to organize and make everything much nicer. But this just make it fast. So I have the enable of the visibility for each of the trends. let's see, what do we have now? I have, okay, let's imagine this temperature can go from 0 to 100, doesn't matter. You have the possibility also to play with this and just assign a variable. The other important thing is that you can change how you're going to see in the display. You can full or divide it, so you can have all this divided. Okay, and here you can use a variable, so in case you want to change this, you can use a variable to change the to see it all together or divided. So you can assign a variable here. In my case, I'm going to put full, but you can associate a variable. Now you have this normal or pen recorder. So pen recorder, I believe, is what we usually use. So you start from the right part of the screen, are we completing the data? The other one, no. So let's take a look right now. How does it look like? So device simulate. Everything is going to be from 0, okay, because I didn't put the enter value for this, but don't worry. See on the screen, yeah. So I don't have anything because I haven't enabled. Okay, you can see that it starts from this part. So let's try to use normal and see how it looks like. So this side. So the normal, it just starts from the left side of the screen and we continue. Okay. I usually use the pen recorder, so we start from the right part and we move in to the, like, it's passing the time. Okay, but it's up to you. It's off, round 1 and 3, and there we go. Okay, so we have this part already done. We can move it over here, and let's add a variable here for each of them. Line to the left. Okay, here variable temp room, because I don't have something already connected here. What I'm going to do is to manually enter the values. Number 2 and number 3. So let me just save this. Yeah. Okay. This one's going to be trace training. Now let's simulate this. Device simulate and see what do we have. So going to activate only 145. Okay, you can see there how it goes. 78, and you can see the limitation here because I have already specified a lower amount of data to be shown. Okay, so in order to increase that, what we need to do is to make it bigger, the max data that we want. So for going that, let's change this to pen recorder. Okay, so I can see that how it's going to the other position. So Project Explorer, we just need to go to the logs once again. Here, must record. Let's add, I don't know, 300. Okay, that's going to be if 60 less than 4 minutes of data. That's why you need to increase that. But remember, the more you increase, if you go to the target, you should be able to see how much data is going to take data logging. So the more you put, the less you're going to have then of the capacity, okay, or available. So that's something that you need to check, but that will be covered on the logging part. Now in this video. So let's go back to the screen. So instead of going from this side, it's coming from this one, and you can see the time. Here, the division, I'm going to use seconds, interval 60, let's see. Let's go to details, display cursor and cursor levels, display green lines. Have a lot of things here, but let's play around. Okay, now. So I have only the room one, and you can see how it's going from this part. And you can see that I have put the division here in 60 seconds. Here, which is the time. So if I change this, you can see how I have the display working, 78 working. And then I can put another one here. $45. Then I have the other one, 98, 15. Okay. This I'm going to show you later how does it work. I didn't need to put it right now. This display cursor, that is gonna be for another variable to do that. But this is what I want to show you, and then you can select what you want in order to visualize information. I believe this is more close that we have, that you can see the how is the actual temperature going. As you can see in the right, the new data coming, and then the left, the previous data. Okay. So this is just how to visualize the data that we have. Let's use this. So in case we want to separate this, I showed you before that we had the possibility here, full and divide. And we can also assign a variable. So I don't remember which is the value that we need to use for this. So what we can do is to create integer trend style. Okay, so I'm going to put this over here. I'm going to copy all this one. Probably is 1 and 0, but let's see. Trend style. So here, what I'm going to do is to define a variable. Trend style. I believe I can probably go to the graphic object, select the trend, and then here, display mode. Okay. Instead of using a variable. But let's see. So I don't going to use the variable, just pointing directly to the trend. So I have 25, 45, and 78. And so if I use number 1, it's divided, okay. 0, it has all together, okay. And here I'm not using a variable, I'm just pointing directly to the object, okay. As you can see here, here I'm pointing directly to the object. Trend graph display mode, so you can play with this, okay. So you can use something like this to make it different. And tool switch. If it's 0, I believe it's gonna be the other way around, but target, equipment, no, graphic objects, trend graph, display mode. So right now, if it's off, it means that it's gonna be don't remember the name of the mode, but if it's on, it means that it's divided. Let's set normal, because I don't remember the trend name. Full mode, full. Okay, the name was full. So if I'm not wrong, this is how it looks like. Let's see details here. Cursor labels, cursor. Technical data, application, more visibility. No. Let's see. Display time scale. If you want to do lines and labels, you can disable that part over there. And data scale full command. Green lines. The other one. Display channel names. Data labels. Okay, so I already selected this full mode. Yes. So let's do it right now. Device simulation. Yes. So right now it's in full, so I'm going to activate all of them. 48 and display cursor label is this one is the one we want. Just want to show the data. So everything's here, 25, 28 and 65. So divided, full, divided, full, divided. Okay, you can see 7. Let's just go. Okay, so this is how we can work with the trends to see the actual data. Okay, it's important to use the data logging to make sure about the login, to make sure over here the max data you can see on the trend or the actual trend. Okay, it's important to make sure that one. Then you should be able to add the variables and then configure as you want the trend. Okay, so in this particular case I make it fast, how to see only the actual information of the trend. Later what we're going to cover is how we can see historical data inside the trend. Okay, so thank you very much for watching this video and I see you on the next one.